Hi babes, welcome back to my channel. So it's been quite a while. I think it's been 3 weeks since I've last uploaded a video. But this is actually the third video I'm filming. I filmed 2 other videos that I wanted to post, but then when I went into the editing process, I didn't love them very much. So hopefully this one works out a lot better than my previous 2. So today I'm actually just going to do a look that I would do if I was going out or going on a date. So this is something that I was asked to do by an online radio station from the Kingdom of Eswatini called Jelele. So I will link the link to that particular website will be in the comment section, so please make sure you do give them a listen. And today I will also be featuring the Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette. So this is one of the Jaclyn Hill palettes that she has partnered with Morphe to produce, and I will be using quite a bit of this in my look for today. So yeah, it's finally springtime. Well, the weather doesn't necessarily reflect the fact that it's spring. It's still quite gloomy, and it's anticipated to rain today, and it's supposed to snow for about 3 days this week. So Minnesota weather is not necessarily the most reliable, but since we are technically in spring, I am bringing out all of my off shoulders and being enthusiastic. So yeah, let's actually get started. So I am going to first use a moisturizer for my face. And it's not necessarily like your typical moisturizer. I'm just looking for the pack. Yeah. So it's not a typical moisturizer, but it is a rehydrating gel. And it's by this company, Ilamasqua. And so I got a sample of this in my Ipsy bag for the month of March. And I've used it once, and I used it in my other 2 videos, and I really like it. So it gives you sort of a nice hydrated base, and especially for me and my skin tone and my skin type, when it is like the change of seasons, it does tend to get a bit drier. So I have been like breaking out in like these, like my nose area, my chin area, and my skin has just been feeling a lot flakier in those areas. So the primers that and moisturizers I will use today will heavily be hydrating. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of it. This is what it looks like on the inside. So it is a gel consistency, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of that and apply it everywhere on my face. Right, so I'm always a little bit skeptical when it comes to using new products because my skin is really sensitive. So I always try to stick to the things that I know and the things that work. But you know, once in a while I'll give something new a try, and so I got a sample of the new Hydro Grip Primer by Milk, and you see it's like super tiny. This is the sample, but I've used it a few times and it's absolutely amazing. It makes sure that your skin remains hydrated underneath. Your makeup application, it looks so seamless, and I really like it. So I'll definitely be purchasing more of this, and alternating between the use of this primer and the primer that I generally use, which is the New Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser by Maybelline. So this one is more readily available in South Africa and in Swaziland. So for my viewers and subscribers that are in those 2 countries, you will likely find this a lot easier than you will find the Milk one. And so I just buy Milk products online. You can get it from Sephora. I think you can also get it from Ulta and have it delivered to you. So I'm just gonna use 2 pumps of this on my face, and then you have to let it like sort of sit for about a minute before you apply any more product. Now I'm going to move on to my brows, and I'm just going to use my spoolie to brush them upward as per usual. And for this particular look, I am going to use a pencil, and I'm going to use my trusted pencil by Essence, which is the long-lasting eye pencil in the color Hot Chocolate. Right, so at the moment my brows are in desperate need of a reshaping and a wax, but because I live in a small town, it's usually really hard to find like good places to actually get your brows done. And so but I think it's relatively new. It's a new place downtown that just opened, and I think I'm going to give that a try sometime this week. Hopefully all my brows will, you know, be there by the time that I'm done. So yeah, but so because this video is one that was requested by Jalele online, they did send over a couple of questions that I will be answering as I do this look. And so one of the questions is so you're young and probably have an active social life. When invited to an evening party, what type of look do you usually go for, and how long does that take you? So I am young, but I'm not very social. I'm not very social in the sense that I'm always super busy with like my schoolwork and a lot of my other projects that I do. But I do occasionally go out. And when I do go out, I do like to go for a dramatic eye. To be honest, that's usually my go-to for everything. I love having color in my eyes. I love lashes, but not too dramatic. But I do love, you know, having an eye that sort of like speaks to you. And I think I tend to do a bright eye because that's probably the one time that I will not have my glasses on, because so I wear glasses, I can't really see. So even when I'm filming these, that's why I always look further down into my mirror, because I just can't see. And because my vision hasn't really stabilized, wearing contacts is not currently an option for me. It will be soon, but yeah. So I think anything that has like lots of color that draws attention to the eyes, because I think eyes speak quite loudly, especially like if you're going to something that's like in the dark, or like that's, you know, in a darker sort of setting. And when you're taking pictures, you definitely want to make sure that your eyes are highlighted and look absolutely amazing. So and usually when it's very interesting, because my videos are actually a lot longer than it would take me on a regular basis to actually do my makeup. It usually takes me like a good 15 minutes. That's without lashes. With lashes, add an extra 5 minutes for me to cry a little bit. So on average, it will take me a lot less time to do my makeup, but because this involves like the speaking part and like actually showing people step by step, it does tend to take a lot longer. And so now all I'm doing is just applying some concealer around my brow just to make sure that it's cleaned up. I aim for sisters, not twins, because, you know, I'm also still learning. Like, I'm still learning the art of makeup. I'm not very artistic as a person. I'm a visualist, which means that I can see things, I can visualize things in terms of what I want them to look like. And so I usually rely on the skill and participation of, you know, other creatives that I collaborate with to make things come alive. So when it comes to my makeup, I just always try to do the best that I can, you know, and hope that it works out. Right, so now that my brows are done, ooh, what is this? Oh, my hair. So now that my brows are done, I am going to move on to doing my eyes. So I am going to start off with the Jaclyn Hill palette. Ooh, and this is what it looks like on the inside. I really like this palette. Like, it has all of the colors that I definitely love, but then it's also got a ton of shimmer options, which, if you've watched my other videos, are a go-to for me. And so while I do my face, while I do my eyes, I'm going to go again into some of the questions that were sent. And so one of them is, some girls are a little shy to explore makeup. What would I recommend for a minimalistic look for a pop to the usual ensemble when going out with the girls on a Saturday evening? So I swear by glitter. You know, anything that has sort of a shimmer to it, I will love and I will use. And so I think it's sort of the easiest way to achieve a look that pops, but that's also really toned down. So you don't have to always go heavy on the glitter like I do, but I definitely think like any sort of shimmer added to your eye look, or even the way that you apply sort of your highlighter. I tend to use a lot of my eyeshadow palettes as highlighter for that particular reason, because a lot of them do have so like if for instance I was using this shimmer here, Ballsy, as my highlighter, it will give me a little bit of that like dusty pink hue, as well as the glow that I'm looking for, you know, that blinding sort of glow. So yeah, I don't know, I'm very bold when it comes to the colors that I use on my face. I don't really shy away from them. I think it's always tricky with rather a lip color, because I'm never convinced with like pinks or other colors that aren't red or browns when it comes to doing my lip color. But when it comes to the eyes, look, go for it. Just, you know, go for it. So yeah. For my look for today though, I am going to start off with this color Hush, which is a soft dusty pink, and I'm just going to apply that all over my eyelid. And then the next color that I'm going to use is this color over here, which is more like a plum purple. I really don't know what color it is. I just know it's in that like range of like pinks and purples. But it's the color Rockstar. And I'm just going to use this brush, make sure to tap off the excess and put it towards the outer corner of my eye. Then I am going to, with the same brush, I am actually just going to dab into this color here, right here, called Mystique. And I'm just going to put a little bit of it over the previous color. You the hottest in the city, that's without a doubt. Fresh, you're not the type of time to call in. Right, so now I am going to jump into my Juvia's Place palette, which is the Zulu palette. I've used this quite a few times, but it's honestly just like, it's just so amazing. Like, I can't put it down. I'm shocked there's still so much product in it. So this is what it looks like on the inside, and I'm just going to take a fluffy brush, and I'm going to dab into this sort of pink color over here. And I'm going to put that right in the center and like build it into the darker shade of my eyes. Always show up just to show off, then you shut it down. Independent missions could be worth a couple $100,000 on my. Notice that for this particular step, I am using I'm using a very light hand to sort of dust over that area of my eye, mainly because this palette is so pigmented, and you kind of don't want the color to be concentrated in one area of your eye, and you want it to, you know, you want it to go everywhere, and you want it to sort of blend out evenly, and you just don't want like patchy areas. So I recommend that you like dab into it, tap the excess off, and then just give it light strokes over you. Perfect. So now that that's done, I am going to intensify the pink color with I'm just going to use the same brush, and I'm going to go back into my NYX Ultimate palette, which is my everything. And then I'm just going to use the sort of fuchsia color that's like right at the top. And I'm just going to lightly dust over the same area that I did for the Juvia's Place palette.
Imagine I done had you on my radar for a minute. I'm infatuated.
Right, so I actually really like going out. I enjoy the process of planning and going out. You know, you always want to go with reliable people that won't flake on you last minute, which most of my friends don't do. So that's good. But yeah, I really do like going out. I'm definitely more of a daytime person. I do like daytime events, so like festivals, food festivals, and anything that's like farmers market. I will still probably do an eye like this dramatic for those things, but I do like things that happen during the day. There's not a lot of it here yet, mainly because it's just been so cold. Basically for the past like 3-4 months. It's been like snowing, icy, cold. But you know, as the temperatures warm up, there's definitely going to be a lot more outdoor activity. The only thing I don't like about most outdoor activities are the mosquitoes, and so that's probably where we're going to fight. But I do like going out during the day. And then in the nighttime, you know, I want to go somewhere that has a vibe, you know. Dinner first, usually, because I do like my food. But I want to go somewhere that has a really good vibe, really good music. And it's tricky finding like places like that here, mainly because I am from Southern Africa, and at least the African population here is heavily West and East African, and so most of the music that will be played at like those particular parties will, you know, be from those areas, which I understand. But you know, I just want to listen to poem, guys, you know, just a quick voice show here and there, but you know, whatever, you know, you use what you've got. So I'm going to go back into my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to use this color over here called Gem. So when you see it, it kind of looks matte, but it isn't. It actually is shimmer. So I'm going to just like dab a little bit of that into the outer corner of my eye, just to sort of deepen this like purple sort of hue that I'm going for.
Everything about you, you're a beauty pageant queen.
Great, so now that that's done, I am going to where are my flat brushes? Jeez. Probably should have laid these out before I started filming this video. I am going to take one of my flat brushes, and then I am just going to spray a little bit of the NYX Prep and Prime, the MAC Prep and Prime on the brush. And that's just going to help with picking up the product. And then I am going to dab a little bit of it into Glitz and Glam, and I'm just going to put a tiny amount of that right at towards the inner corner of my eye. I really like the shimmer, and I really like how it's applying, so I'm probably going to add a bit more and sort of build out.
Tell your dreams about things I couldn't guarantee. Falling in love, I talk because such a bad routine.
Great, and finally, just to enhance the depth of the shimmer, I'm going to go back into my Juvia's Place palette, and I'm just going to use a light brush to dust a little bit of this pink shimmer over the center.
Head first, could end up a casualty. I could be boyfriend number 2, in case you need that pleasure plea. And
so for the final touches of my eyes, I am going to add a little bit of eyeliner. I'm not going to do a wing, just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to do mascara and put on very, very thin lashes. Okay, so now that my lashes are in, and my eye look is basically done, I am going to move on to doing the rest of my face. So I've already applied primer, and the first thing that I'm going to do is actually add a red pigment underneath my eyes, and then like I have this like dark spot on my nose from like a mini breakout that I had this past week, and I'm just going to put a little bit of a red pigment over it.
Looking for the right time until I ran into a rough diamond. I'm finna change your last name when you my shop since I've been trying so fast that La vie, do I know mood? I'll share mood.
And then I am just going to take a little bit of CC cream, BB cream, sorry. This is BB cream. Take a little bit of BB cream, which is nice and moisturizing, and I'm just gonna put it over the red areas. As you can see, it's a lot lighter than my usual skin tone, but that's sort of what I'm going for this, just to make sure that I have a nice solid base when I do put on the rest of my foundation. So for my foundation today, I am going to use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter in the color 390, and then I am going to mix it in a little bit with the LA Colors Truly Matte Long Wearing High Pigment Foundation in the color Golden Beige, because this one is a lot like has warm undertones, and this one has neutral undertones, and so that helps to sort of balance them out. And just to make sure that I have a seamless blend, I am now going to go in with a little bit of the matte Prep and Prime spray, and then I'm going to dab over the rest of my face with the bottom part of my beauty blender. So now that I'm done with that part, I am going to go in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Cool Tan, and I'm just going to use that to highlight underneath my eyes and my nose area, as well as my chin and my forehead. And then to contour my face, I am going to use the LA Colors Truly Matte Foundation in the color Mahogany. Great, so now that part of my face is done, it is time for me to add some powder. So I'm going to use the, for my under eyes, for like underneath my eyes, I'm going to use the LA Colors Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm just going to use a brush to do that. And I really like this one because it's very, like, it's a pressed powder, and you know, it does give you sort of a brightening effect when you do apply it. Right, so it just gets a little bit brighter, but it doesn't brighten it too much to the point where it looks too white. So I'm just going to pack that on. And then for the rest of my face, I am going to use the LA Colors Mineral Pressed Powder in the color Classic Tan. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that on my face, because in as much as I love the sort of blurred effect that it gives you, I don't want it to be too much. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to use my Steve Laurent blush in the color I'm Blushing. And so this is what it looks like. You know, it's along the lines of like the pink, darker pink tones, but it also does have a little bit of shimmer in it. So I'm not going to use too much because it's actually quite pigmented. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my cheeks and then work it up. actually going to go back to my eyes, and I am going to use the pink color that's in the Juvia's Place, and I'm going to put quite a bit of it underneath my on my lower lash line. I am going to use the Lord and Berry eye pencil in the color Super Green. Is it Super Green? I think it was Super Green. Supreme Green. And I'm just going to put a little bit, I'm just going to line my eyes with it. Right, so time to move on to my favorite part, which is highlighter. So the highlighter that I'm going to use today is Luna by Luna, and it is a baked highlighter. So I'm just going to take a brush and apply that on my cheekbones. Woo! You can never have too much highlighter. Honestly, okay, I mean, there's a limit. There's a limit. You don't want to go overboard. But there's definitely, you know, your highlighter must always be blinding. You know, they must see it from miles away. And so I'm going to put a little bit on my nose, a little bit on my upper lip, just a touch more on my temples. Right, and so for the final touches, I am going to do a lip. And when I go out, I like to do a lip that is low maintenance and one that I won't necessarily have to keep touching up throughout the night, because it's just, you know, it's a lot more fun. You don't want to be running around and trying to fix your lipstick while you're like at the club or anything, and you just want to be on the dance floor all the time. I'm going to line my lips today with my Essence pencil. So it's just any sort of like, use any sort of dark brown pencil. Right, so after that, I am going to go in with my, if I can find it, oh, here it is. I am going to use a touch of my Fenty Beauty lipstick. It's one of the Mademoiselle's lipsticks, and it's in the color Candy Venom. I'm not going to use a lot of it because it is like a super bright pink, but it's super pretty, and I'm just going to put on a little bit of this. So now that that's done, like, this is going to give me the base for like that, like, so what I'm trying to do with this lip is to make sure that I have, you know, the hints of this like pink coming out, but I'm actually going to top it off with my NYX lip lingerie in the color Beauty Mark. Look, I've said this once and I'll say it again. When it comes to matte lipsticks, I definitely think that NYX is particularly nailing it. I tend to like put on like one layer and then go out and I will come back not having had to touch it up, which is honestly what you want in a lipstick in general. You don't want to have to constantly put it on throughout the night or at any point in the day in general. Okay, loves, and that brings us to the end of my video for today. So for a lot of people that are wondering, like, so when you come back at night and you're like not sure, like you just really want to jump into bed, what's the best way to sort of take off a look like this? I would recommend that you get a makeup butter remover. So wait, let me show you. I am currently using this. It's sort of like, it looks and feels like a butter, or like a balm. And so you take this and you just like put it all over your face, and it melts away the makeup and the impurities, and then you just wipe that off. And then just to make sure that you have that extra clean, you want to use a little bit of the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Water. This is something that I use all the time. I use the one for all skin types, even sensitive. And so that, if I'm like, you know, if I just came back and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, that's usually what I will use. But like, I'm genuinely the type of person that I will use the butter, then cleanse my face, then my micellar water, then moisturize, even if I just got back. I tend not to compromise when it comes to making sure that I do not sleep with any makeup on. So yeah, if you have any more questions about sort of what is my nighttime routine, make sure that you watch my previous video. I will put the link right below. And yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. This is it from me for today, and thank you for Jalele Online. Make sure that you guys tune in to that radio station as well. I will make sure that I have the link right below. So I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this video after, you know, an overwhelming week, and like just not feeling like an overwhelming month, I would say, and not feeling like I was in the space to produce anything that I actually really love. It's really good to be back. So I hope you guys loved this video as much as I loved filming it. Thank you once again. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this look. If you have any questions about the products, I will also leave my Instagram handle in the comment section. And yeah, in the description box. Yeah, I'm still new to this whole YouTube thing, okay? So I'm still figuring it out myself. But yeah, I hope you guys really love this look. I actually now wish I had somewhere to go, because like, I really like this look, you know? I really like it, but I have nowhere to go. I'm actually so upset, you know? Like, guys, look anyway. But yeah, so please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon.